My name is Rebecca Haile. I was born in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. My family left Ethiopia after the revolution in 1974. Moved to Minnesota, which is not a ordinary path, but was very good for us. And I live in New York now with my husband and 3 kids. And my current position is Executive Director of a new NGO called Ethiopia Education Initiatives, which we have established to open a world-class school in Debre Birhan, which is about an hour and a half from Addis Ababa. And for me, it's really an opportunity now that I'm no longer a refugee and have benefited from excellent education in the U.S. to give back to Ethiopia at a time when Ethiopia is really on the cusp of hopefully growing its economy and becoming an important leader on the continent. So that is what I am doing now. So it'll be 400 kids total when we open it, merit admissions, but need blind admissions. So the goal is to really find talented kids from around the country and realize, in a place as diverse as Ethiopia, I believe strongly that kids from all over should live together. And that is part of the education that will then equip them to be truly national citizens and national leaders. Some of them will be citizens, engaged citizens, others will be leaders, but I really believe that we will have a transformative effect on the students in the school and a transformative effect on education in the country as a whole. And then ultimately, if you can do that much, who knows what will come from all of that, but that's the plan, and I think it's going to be amazing. Well, I'm from Ethiopia, so that is the first draw, but it's really more than that. I mean, Ethiopia now has a population of 100 million. It is the second largest population on the continent, and the median age is just 18, so half of the population is under 18, and it's also got the fastest growing economy in the world this year. Now obviously that's off of a very low base, but what it means is that there is huge potential for good things to happen in Ethiopia in coming years, and I realized that I was in a position to give back to the country where I'm from, that I'm stable in my life, I've done well, and my family has done well, and all thanks to education, and specifically the type of education that's available in the West, which is inquiry-based, really student-centered. And unfortunately, in that part of the world, it's still very much memorizing to the test, rote memorization, rather than really owning the information and using it for something. So for coming years, if Ethiopia is going to thrive, it really needs to take this huge asset, its youth, educate them in ways that allow them to claim their space as impactful citizens, as leaders, as the people from whom the ideas to solve long-standing problems are going to come from. And the other thing that's really appealing to me is to actually establish not just a school that's great for those kids, but also a model school to show countrywide what we can do, like really show what education can look like. So all that is really appealing to me. It's been incredibly nice for me as I go back, because I left when I was 11, so I'm very American, but negotiating the time and sort of thinking about the school, but also about myself. How would I feel there? How will I feel welcome there? And it's been extraordinary. People have been so supportive. I gave an example. It's not really a country with a pro bono tradition, but the lawyers that I engaged won't take any money from me there. We see what you're doing. We want to be supportive. So everybody, in whatever way they can, small or large, it's been incredibly helpful, generous, helping, and just feeling like we are together in doing something important for the country and making it successful, which is incredibly gratifying, having lived out of the country for so long. So I would say come with a little bit of an open mind, an open heart, and a sense of adventure. And I think that, as I think about the school, I would go for the adventure. I would see, because there's a real possibility to impact lives and really make a difference. You have many opportunities you have to do good in life and to do something impactful, but there are sometimes where you can have an outsized impact because of the leverage of the moment. And I believe that this is one, that this school can really be a point of leverage research that has outsized impact. And to me, that's really exciting. So I think the person who would go there would need to educate themselves about Ethiopia and sort of make sure that they understood sort of what's in the media versus the reality. It's really not a difficult place to live. As I said, the food is great, the topography is great, the cities are chaotic, so you would have to think about that. And there, you just have to think about how you would live there. The cost of living is low, which makes it easier for people coming from the West. So I would really think that for many people with a sense of adventure and a mission-driven way of approaching something, it's pretty easy. And there are a lot of foreigners that live there because of the African Union, etc. I think that with an open end, it would be a very nice experience. It is a developing country, so it is not, time isn't quite the same we're accustomed to here. Things take a little bit more time, and I have had on occasion to remind myself that I cannot get upset that things aren't happening as quickly as I want. I mean, the outcomes have all been consistently good, so there is a different rhythm to life, and sometimes I wonder whether we live life too quickly. When I'm reminded that the afternoon is going to be spent sipping coffee and chatting with people, sometimes there really is a place for that. So the ability to explore an important, beautiful, interesting country that's at a complicated and potential-filled moment, to me, would be extremely intriguing. And I think that if you came with that open mind and allowed yourself to befriend both expats as well as Ethiopian nationals, it would be incredibly fulfilling time to be there.